G'day guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Wildcard. Thank you for being here and watching my content. As always, it is my pleasure and the absolute privilege to talk about the greatest sport in the world, rugby. You are here today because the greatest rivalry in the history of rugby, the Bledisloe Cup Game 2, is upon us. This will be played in New Zealand home soil. New Zealand has already secured the Bledisloe Cup because you just have to win one game to keep the cup, right? But regardless, with the cup firmly in their hands, Sir Ian Foster, has made the risky, bold decision to make sweeping changes to the All Blacks team by selecting all the informed players from Super Rugby. Yes, believe it or not, this team includes all the informed players from Super Rugby, and oh boy, I felt like this is potentially a bigger wallop to the Wallabies coming up this weekend, and you know, this is why I think the All Blacks is going to win the Rugby World Cup. The fact that they selected a team that has been very dominant in winning the Rugby Championship in the last 3 rounds, that was the team that was actually not informed, believe it or not, in Super Rugby. And this team basically is Sir Foster's way of rewarding all the hard work for all the players to, you know, achieve the top 2 rankings in the Super Rugby. And yes, so we're going to look at the lineup. We're going to see who's been selected. There are 3 debutants, but yes, I am genuinely concerned once again for the Wallabies. So this game will be played in Dunedin, as I've already spoken about. This will be, you know, New Zealand, as you can see, it's been raining. It's going to be a bit wet. But Dunedin is a stadium with a roof, so it shouldn't be any issues for both teams. I do think, however, there is a bit of a wind. I do think that it's not a by my understanding, I could be completely wrong. It's not a completely sealed stadium, so there's still wind, I think, that can get through. But hey, let me know if that's true or not. But yeah, overall, this should be pretty good conditions to play a game of rugby. The referee for this weekend will be Mr. Carl Dixon from England. It's so funny. I googled his name, and the first video that came up is the referee who's tarnishing rugby's reputation. Oh, Carl. I feel sorry for you, mate. But yeah, he is one of the referees who gives out yellow cards, like business cards, and yeah. So if there's any sort of doubt, he's gonna be able to. Yeah, he will definitely won't hesitant to give out those yellow cards or red cards. So yeah, the bunker will be in play as well this weekend. So the bunker so yeah, that might actually help a little bit because Carl Dixon, well, basically this what the bunker is gonna do is they're gonna review 2 replays with an incident that may be worthy of a yellow card or a red card, and then if after reviewing the incident twice, the referee will just issue a yellow card, and then the TMO will take more time to review and let the referee know within 8 minutes that the yellow card, whether a yellow card stands or not. So it's a similar situation they have in Super Rugby. But yeah, the TMO bunker will be in play. So Carl Dixon might not actually give out the red card, so because he can just actually pass that along to the TMO to decide for that decision. So yeah, obviously I had a bit of a look at this already, and I talked about this from my Tuesday video about the rugby news. So I had a bit of a look about the stats. So yeah, the overall, I think the biggest difference between the 2 teams in that first test, obviously there were some disruptions to the Wallabies side with the props, and obviously the set piece hasn't been that great as either way. You know, with or without the injuries, you know, that is obviously one thing to improve. But outside of that, I thought the one thing involvement is is getting the 4-pack involved around, you know, with the offloading game a bit more. You know, really getting the support. So one of the biggest difference between the attacking of the 2 sides is the number of passes that is involved by the 4-pack. So the Australian 4-pack, you know, we start from Angus Bell at number 1 position. Number of passes from the front rowers is pretty much 0. Even the Locks have a couple of involvement, and the biggest letdown for the Wallabies forward pack is the 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 loose forwards really not getting involved in their support running as a ball runner. Whereas for New Zealand, you can see the big difference here in their forward pack. Even the props gets involved a bit, and then the Locks has a bit of involvement, and then the loose forwards really gets their passing games. So that's passes. So the number of offloads essentially they've got themselves involved into in the attack line. And that is the big difference between the two teams. A lot of times the Australians were able to make a break, but not able to link up with anybody in support to finish off the breakaway for a try. So that is something that definitely can be improved. Overall, the kicking game was also a bit of an issue from Carter Gordon. He was heavily criticized by the media last week about his kicking game. I did feel like outside of his kicking game, I thought his passing game, he did look more comfortable than Quade Cooper. In the passing game, he's a bit sharper, a little bit quicker around the park, and he did look like he was, the Quade does look like sometimes a little bit hesitant when he's on the field. Not really sure what position he should be in. I mean, obviously, Quade has been injured for quite a while as well. Hasn't really played much rugby in Japan. So yeah, that is for that. I think he does deserve to be selected again. Carter Gordon. I mean, putting Quade at starting position at number 10, it's just not really an option. Maybe you can try it, Bernard Foley, but yeah, outside of that, I thought there really isn't much of an option at 10. You might want to bring in Donaldson because he's technically available, but yeah, Eddie Jones, being Eddie Jones, pick his favorites and then he sticks to them. So yes, with that being said, let's have a go through this All Blacks, this All B team. Actually, this All B team against the Wallabies. So yeah, this team, like I've spoken about already, is largely from the top two Super Rugby teams in 2023. So obviously, the grand final was played between the Crusaders and the Chiefs. The Chiefs had an absolutely amazing season. Only lost one game to the Reds, and then the Super Rugby final to the Crusaders. So only 2 games lost for the Chiefs, and then the Crusaders obviously was building towards to peak at the end of the season, and they really peaked perfectly to beat the Chiefs in the finals. And yeah, that was a lot of the players were initially being called by the public to be selected for the All Blacks, and Sir Fozzie, Ian Foster, obviously likes the big name players like Jordie Barrett, Riku Ioane, Bowden Barrett, and like all 3 players I just named had a pretty poor form in Super Rugby. So there was actually a big question mark whether or not these players were able to deliver the results. And to everybody's relief, they did deliver in the last 3 rounds. So yeah, now really giving Ian Foster some breathing room to actually give the players that truly probably deserve the run for the All Blacks an opportunity to show their fans at home for the Bledisloe Cup. So yes, so first up we've got Tamati Williams. He's already had a start for the All Blacks against, I think it was against Argentina, or was it against no, I think it was against the Springboks, I think. But he had a 1 star off the bench. Tamati Williams, the big loose air pro from the Crusaders. Very, very stellar season. Very, very physical. Good running. Good scrummaging. And yeah, he kind of like filled in for Joe Moody. And then he kind of just taken that reign as his own. And only 22 years of age. He's very, very bright future in front of him at number 1 position. Somasoni Takiaho, the Chiefs hooker. One of the most dangerous players when receiving the ball in short distance. His pick and go leg drive is absolutely second to none. Just one of the most dangerous players when he's close to your try line. And good to see that. Again, he's been on the bench for quite a while. It's good to see that he's finally getting a start in the number 2 jersey. Nipo Laulala is the Blues player, comes in number 3. He's probably the only player I felt like it's a bit of an iffy because I didn't think his performance for the Blues were that great. But he had a couple of solid games for the All Blacks in the last couple of rounds, so I think he deserved a bit of a try at number 3 position. For the Wallabies, the best loose air prop I have ever seen in the history of Wallabies, Angus Bell, comes in number 1 position. His performance last week was unbelievable. I have never seen a loose air prop this good. I mean, he has been very, very good. I was blown away by how good he was when he debuted for the Wallabies, and like last week he really starting to show just how amazing this guy is. Making a line break like he's the center, doing the the incredible work in the scrummaging, and then saving a try, from Aaron Smith and ripping the ball out of his hands over the try line. Just incredible agility, incredible strength and power. Just this will be a huge battle for him, and I think Nipo Laulala might be facing a bit of a challenge ahead of him in the scrummaging this weekend. Dave Parecki comes in number hooker position, number 2 for the Wallaby once again. Pretty solid so far this season. Ponfai Mawasili comes in from the Rebels in the tight hair prop position. I was surprised that Pone hasn't been given an opportunity earlier this season. I felt like he's, definitely developing as a prop, coming along in a tight hair position, especially since Alan Alatoa. To be honest, I didn't think Alan Alatoa has been performing at all in the last 3 rounds. Obviously, he was injured last game, but his performances in the first 2 rounds, I didn't think they were that great either. So yeah, I was surprised that Pone wasn't given an opportunity earlier, not even coming off the bench. So he gets a start this week for the Wallaby to show off his talent against, obviously, Tamati Williams. This will be a really interesting scrum battle. I feel like Angus Bell will have the better over Lipo Laulala, but Tamati Williams and against Pone will be the question mark that everybody will be looking forward to. In the locking positions, the All Blacks has opted for, Brody Retallick once again returns the number 4 jersey, and this is the probably the most experienced locking combination in the world right now. Sam Whitelock comes in 144 test caps. I think Richie McCaw, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure Richie McCaw retired 144 caps. So Sam Whitelock will be breaking Richie McCaw's cap this weekend, or has he already beaten Richie McCaw? Was Richie McCaw 140? But anyway, Sam Whitelock will surely become one of the most capped player in history of the All Blacks. And Sam Whitelock has been injured a lot as well. He only returned last week off the bench. This week he will be definitely getting some game time. He played Super Rugby final with a hurt leg, with an injured leg, and he just basically, guarded through for the fans, essentially for the Super Rugby final to win that one, because he's going overseas. For the Wallabies, Nick Frost and Richie Arnold gets the position. Nick Frost had a stellar performance last week, really good defense from him. Richie Arnold gets moved up from the bench for the Wallabies, the number 5 jersey. In the loose in the loose forwards positions, we got Sammy Penny Finau comes in from the Chiefs, a stellar season for the Chiefs in the blindside flanker position. Tom Hooper moves to the blindside from the open side. He is a very big, very tall guy, and he had a lot of work last week. He did make 30 tackles, only missed 5, which is huge, very high work rate. So I was very pleased about that performance. That gives me the nod. That high work rate, gave me more confidence in having him in the team in the blindside flanker position. In the open side flanker position, Sam Kang having a bit of rest from a little neck tweak. He's back in number 7 jersey to captain the All Blacks. He's up against Fraser McRide, who had a really good performance against the Argentinians. So yeah, it's good to see that Fraser gets an opportunity here at number 7 jersey. At number 8 jersey, we got Adi, the King Savia comes in number 8. He's up once again against Robert Valentini, 2 very physical guys. Again, the difference between the 2 guys, it's not their running game. I feel like both guys are equally good at running game. It's their support game. It's the game, the way they can help out their teammates in support with their passing. Adi Savia had 10 passes last game, whereas Robert Valentini had 1. We saw the stats just before. So that is a big difference between the 2 sides, and that is the crucial difference, converting those opportunities into points for both teams. In the back line, we got Finlay Christie comes in for Aaron Smith at number 9 jersey. Damien McKenzie, the best hands down fly half in Super Rugby this year. He couldn't even get a spot. Surf Aussie, really, putting his trust on Richie Mwanga and his bread and butter guys. But Damien McKenzie has been so good in Super Rugby. The kicking game has been superb. The goal kicking has been superb, and the smile. Whenever he smiles, he puts a smile on my face, and then his obviously attacking game, that burst of the speed that he brings when he takes the ball, carries the ball, it just creates so much space Massive threat every time he gets the ball. So yeah, massive opportunity for him to solidify himself a position in the All Black jersey going into the Rugby World Cup. Here's the thing: the depth of the All Blacks team is the big difference. It's what's so impressive for the World Cup, and I have no doubt that the All Blacks is. I really think the All Blacks are going to win the World Cup, to be honest, just by how much depth they've got. Carter Gordon gets another nod. Like I said, his kicking game was pretty atrocious last week, but I thought his passing game wasn't too bad, so hopefully he's working on that over the week. I think the nerves might get him to a little bit, but yes, he gets another shot. At number 11 jersey, Lester Fainga'a-Nuku. He is so good. He's just like, he brings the power game. Really power, like massive power game to the winger position. He's not just fast. The way he runs the ball, he's almost runs it like a center. He's massively just powerful, explosive style in the winger's jersey. And it's really, unbelievable how he can't even get a spot in the starting team, in the A team, so to speak, A team. He truly deserved to start for the All Blacks. And if you were to ask me, he should have been in a starting winger instead of Will Jordan, and Will Jordan should be a fullback instead of Beauden Barrett. That's how I would have put the All Black, best All Blacks team, just based on form. For the Wallabies, Moroccan Corambetti coming back singing a number 11 jersey. Center position, again, these are the two top centers for performing centers for Super Rugby. Anton Leonard-Brown for the Chiefs, minor premiership winners, second place in the final. Braden Eno for the Crusaders, winning the grand final over the Chiefs. I mean, these two guys are as in form as you can possibly ask for, and they couldn't even get a spot. Neither of them could get a starting spot. Leonard Brown had a bit of a time off the bench last week, but Eno hasn't been given any. This is the first time he's been featured in the team. And they're just so much depth in this All Black team. And the Wallabies, Samuel Karevi returns to number 12 jersey, and Jordan Patea gets number 13. Jordy Patea did much better than I was expecting out of the 13 jersey last week, so it's good to see that he can continue to move forward with that development. In the number 14 jersey, again, Sean Stevenson finally gets his long-awaited All Black debut. His performance, again, for the Chiefs was just absolutely spectacular, scoring tries left and right, with D-Mac in directing those opportunities for him. Unbelievably good in Super Rugby, and again, he's finally getting his start for the All Blacks. Mark Nwangani-Tawasi gets number 14 jersey for the Wallabies. Once again, he had a really good game last week. Again, every time he makes a break, I feel like he just needs people to be there to support him to get that extra bit of to get those opportunities converted into points. Finally, Will Jordan. Again, super in form. I felt like he is the best fullback in New Zealand, and he doesn't get an opportunity to play fullback under the tyrannical regime of Ian Foster. So yeah, he finally gets to play the position that he wants to play in the number 15 jersey. Will Jordan, Andrew Callaway for the Wallabies. Once again, I felt like Andrew did have a bit of a quiet game last week. He's been injured for a long time, but good to see him returning to the field. In the reserves position, Dan Coles comes in for number 16 from the Hurricanes. Ofa Tuanga-Fasi from the Blues comes in number 17. Fletcher Newell, another guy that won the Super Rugby Championship under the Crusaders, returns for the tight head position for the All Blacks. In the Wallaby position, anyway. Jordan Ulesi gets number 16 jersey once again. I'm surprised that, Lockie Lonergan's line-out throw hasn't been that great. I'm surprised that Lockie Lonergan's just been completely left out of the Wallabies team. So Jordan Ulesi gets another chance at number 16. Jem Slipper dropped to the bench in a number 17 jersey. And then Zhang Nongor, the Queensland Reds tight head prop, comes in at number 18 jersey. Nongor, interestingly, went to the Southport School. Jem Slipper also went to the Southport School, and it's almost like playing with your hero, right? He finally gets to play alongside his dad, Jem Slipper. Zan Nongo finally get an opportunity to play alongside his dad. They both went to the same high school, only 12 years apart, right? And then on the back line, we've got on the on the lock-in positions, reserve, we got Tupou Vaa'i comes in number 19 from the Chiefs. Will Skelton gets dropped to the bench. I'm not sure. Eddie Jones is kind of just like juggling who he wants to be star. Will Skelton, or does he want Richie Arnold, right? It's yeah, I thought Will Skelton actually did good last week in the starting position, but he gets dropped to the bench this week. Luke Jacobson returns to number 20 jersey from the Chiefs. Again, stellar, really, really good season for the Chiefs. Rob Leota gets the Wallaby number 20 jersey as a loose forward. In the back reserves, Aaron Smith comes in number 21, moves down to the bench. Nick White retains number 21 jersey in the bench. Richie Mwonga gets dropped to the bench as well with a nice combination with Aaron Smith, comes in at 22. Quay Cooper gets 22 again. I really felt Quay should probably be replaced for someone else, have a go at his jersey. He's just, like, he's solid and everything, but I just really, in defense, it just doesn't look like he knows where he's supposed to be. Maybe it's just me, but I really felt like someone else probably deserved a better spot than Quay at number 22. Finally, number 23, Dallas McLeod. Who is Dallas McLeod? Who? Dallas who? So yeah, I had actually a bit of research on this guy. He plays for the Crusaders. Obviously, another stellar season for the Crusaders. And apparently, he's just like a really, really talented guy with a lot of speed. He plays center and also I think he covers wing as well. And Foster has decided to, give him a shot out of the number 23 jersey coming up for potentially, for a center position debut. And then finally, Isaiah Peresi, the Waratahs outside center, will potentially come on for one of the center positions later on in the game for the Wallabies. So yes, once again, I really felt like the Wallabies, they're the one, out of this game, I really want to see the support running a little bit better from the Wallabies. If they can get that down, I think they might have a chance against the All Blacks. Big might. This All Blacks team is just so stacked, right? Like the reserves, this All Blacks team is like potentially better than the team that beat the Wallabies last week. Yes, there's a lacking experience, but the talent is definitely there for the All Blacks. And this is why I think the All Blacks will win the Rugby World Cup, because this Rugby World Cup, the B team for any nation is more important than ever before. Because if you get a concussion, you are mandatory to step down for 11 days. So you are not allowed to play the next game, essentially. And so a lot of times, you are especially going into the quarterfinals, going into the semifinals, even the grand final, you will be left with no option but to play with your B team, essentially. And, it is going to be a war of attrition. And then if you're relying on your A team to win all the games, and if your B team, the gap between your A team and B team is too big, you're just not going to make it. You're simply not going to make it to winning the Rugby World Cup. And I think the All Blacks is the team that has the most depth in every position. And they're just, I think it's just going to be, this All Blacks team is just so amazing. If you're an All Blacks fan, you definitely to enjoy this, because next year, a lot of the big names going to be gone. And this is a golden opportunity for you guys to win the Rugby World Cup back before things gets a bit messy once again for the next World Cup cycle. But let me know your thoughts. I think this All Blacks team will beat the Wallabies again. If the Wallabies can lose less than 31 points, I will consider that a massive improvement, to be honest. So maybe the All Blacks will win by, let's just say All Blacks win by 31 points again. Okay. So thanks guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, and have a good week. Cheers.